I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2008 in September. I had felt a lump and kind of waited a couple weeks and called the doctor, my gynecologist, to go in for a visit. And they told me it was probably just fibroid tissue in my breast, but they wanted to go ahead and follow up with a mammogram. Following day, I had the mammogram, and sure enough, they did see something that made them worry, that they automatically did an ultrasound sonogram on me and biopsied. When we left that day, the woman who had biopsied me had just this white look of fear, talking to me, and I was young, I was 24, and I surely thought this can't happen to me, and it wasn't going to. And my dad just looked stunned and didn't have anything to say, and from that moment is when I knew this is going to be bad, even before the pathology came back. Following day, they called us back and they told us it was malignant. And from there, it was just a whirlwind of getting doctor's appointments scheduled and getting in to see the best of the best at Baylor. And I was on my way to having my double mastectomy in October. Going through treatment was kind of foggy looking back now. I went through 6 cycles of chemo. I started after my mastectomy surgery in October, so my first treatment was in November. Originally, I was supposed to do 4 cycles, which I was ecstatic about because that meant that was just sooner to get back to normal life. And they ended up telling me I needed to do 2 more at the end of my 4th one, which was a little depressing. And you know, it wasn't as bad as everyone had told me it was going to be. Everyone kind of put the fear in me that you're going to be so sick and you're not going to want to do anything, you're going to want to lay down, and I had a different attitude than that. I didn't want cancer to pull me down. I wanted to maintain my lifestyle as best as I could. Being 24, you want to be with your friends. I wanted to go on dates with my boyfriend and just kind of live my life as I should, and I had that mentality throughout my whole treatment. So I was very fortunate that I did not get sick. I was tired, and there were days that I couldn't remember my left from my right, just everything was foggy, but that eventually subsided, and it was just back to normal life in between treatments. I think what people don't necessarily understand about cancer is that it can happen at all ages. I think it's definitely more common to see breast cancer in older women, and to have it at 24 I think was shocking to a lot of people, as it was to myself. I remember doctors and nurses' faces every time I went to an appointment that they didn't personally know me, and they would look at my chart and then look at me in disbelief. They just couldn't believe that I was 24, and I can't tell you how many times they mentioned it. That got kind of old, but I think that's a big misconception, that it can happen at any age, and I think being proactive and being aware is the key for women of all ages. I do think cancer changed me, I think for the better. I was strong before, but I think I'm even a stronger individual now, and I'm a lot more positive. I didn't want it to weigh me down, and having my positive attitude throughout the course of my treatment and recovery, I think really played a big part in how successful everything was for me. Breast cancer research is extremely important. The end goal is to find a cure for cancer, and all these organizations, Susan G. Komen, Closing for the Cure, they all have that same goal in mind, is to raise as much money as possible in order for the research to continue to find that cure. Life on the other side of cancer is great. Honestly, at this point, it'll be 5 years for me in October since my first surgery, and it seems like a distant memory at this point. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and life is great now.